Hey everyone, episode 187 recorded on the 15th of the 12th. It was low-hanging fruit with John and Andy and myself. A few things that we went over, just off the top of my head. We talked about domestic violence amongst lesbian couples, the two Torries from WWE and WCW, Palworld, the Huak Tuah Meme coin, Machete attacks with teenagers. Then we went into a bit about parenting and the willy-nilly rate that people procreate at. We talked about me having an existential crisis because I'm turning 40, and I really don't remember much else, but yeah. If you don't already, like, share, follow, subscribe. Please don't keep us a little dirty secret. Share us along. The only way we're going to grow is with you showing us how much you care. I mean, you don't care, but we don't either. But anyway, enjoy.
Oh, yeah! Gentlemen, this is Democracy Madness.
My name is Inigo Montoya.
Let's rock.
You killed my father. Prepare to die.
What is it with walking?
Leave a message, baby. I'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Yes.
Wait for the move and the
In
beat.
Springfield, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats, they're eating the pets of the people that live there. Will you shut up, man?
Weird.
I'm Chris Hansen.
Oh, you gotta give him that Huck Tuah. Spit on that thing.
Unless you're scripted, you're useless. Unless you're scripted, you're useless.
Yeah, that's a thing, yeah. It's not just me, because I've been, having to deal with a few of them lately, and I was like, I'm starting to notice a pattern, but I don't want to come across as a racist.
Well aware of who you are, John.
I don't deny that, but publicly, there's a public John, and then there's a private John that everybody knows.
The closed door, John.
The closed door. I was going to actually send it today, it's that meme with Homelander in... The Boys, is it? Mm. And I think they're at a baseball game and he's looking out into the distance, but then you got the guy from Lord of the Rings looking at him. Like he's got his face against the crowd. So the crowd's looking at the match and Homelander's like enjoying it as well. And he looks down, he sees the guy from Lord of the Rings, the main character.
Yeah.
And he's looking up at him like he knows like who he really is or something. And the meme's like me coming across as, a well-managed human being to the public eye and this and that and all that. And then it pans to the guy from the main character looking at you. He's like, my one close friend who knows all my secrets from all my life and everything now.
I've got a lot of outtakes from this podcast, yeah. Just keep rolling. And just keep,
I'd like to suggest that it's like 95% coming from that side of the room.
No, see, that's small scale, John. Your dreams of, global conquest is what the FBI really wants to know about.
Oh, yeah.
He's just rubbing his hands. Speaking of The Boys, do you actually watch The Boys?
No.
Yeah.
Do you watch it?
Yeah, I was watching it.
I've seen one scene where a guy gets shrunk down into another dude's penis and then expands because I think he sneezes or coughs or something and like basically explodes the other guy. Is that what the whole series is like?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like over the top effects and stuff, yeah.
It was disturbing.
Yeah. There's so many scenes like that. You don't even think about it. If you watch it from start to finish, you don't even...
You've never seen it?
No, I've only ever seen the trailer, and that was it for the first episode.
Is it a good series?
It starts off pretty strong, and then it
dips.
It becomes really political.
Oh, really?
Like,
on the nose political.
On the nose. It's too much. At the later season, I just gave up watching.
Just extremely liberal?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And like the references are really in your face. Like they're covering the references, but the references are like right in your face. Like that person is clearly that person. This person is clearly that person. They're painting this person to be very bad.
Yeah, okay.
And this person to be very good when they're actually really bad.
I Googled the year 2024, like just significant events. So I thought maybe it'd be nice to do like a wrap up of like what's happened, what we remember, la la la. I got to January 31st and it's all political.
Yeah.
Literally. Every single event that they've named is either a war or an election or a coup or an overthrowing or a bombing.
Yeah.
No, I mean, did you see what they're talking about overthrowing? Syria?
Oh, no. Yeah. Yeah, well, I wrote it down. Assad.
Oh, right. Yeah,
So I started writing a list of what I could remember, and I think you got here pretty quickly after that, so I stopped. But what I've written is Summer Olympics, Assad being ousted, the Trump election, martial law in Korea, and Palestine. That's pretty much all I had.
Yeah.
What else has happened this year? Firstly, did anyone watch the Olympics?
No.
No, well,
I watched, like I said, one
Snippets.
event. Yeah, snippets,
Yeah.
All I remember from the Olympics, legit, is ray gun and the Turkish shooter that became a meme.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? And ray gun was in the news the other day. She blocked a musical that was on.
Oh, I thought that was hers that she was producing.
No, it was a comedian.
Oh.
Yeah, because then the comedian came out and made a public statement saying, I'm sure her actual performance is a lot funnier than the play that we put together.
The gold thing is you got like NFL players when they're doing touchdowns and celebrating and they're impersonating it as their celebration.
Yeah, but she trademarked the kangaroo silhouette move that she did. She actually trademarked that.
She's like the...
She got the name Ray Gun trademarked for herself, which I don't know how she managed to do that because ray guns are ray guns. And she trademarked the silhouette of the kangaroo posing.
There's a whole doco on YouTube about how they just break down the complete... what's the thing called when it's nepotism and like favoritism and everything of how this whole situation happened with her?
To this day, I haven't watched the full routine because I just get
You can't
angry.
find it.
Really?
It's been completely scrapped off the internet. You can only find bits and pieces of it. They have scrapped it off the internet.
It really gets me angry.
yeah.
No, it does. It actually gets me angry. The fact that someone like that could be put into the Olympic pool and say that she's represented Australia.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's embarrassing.
It is. It's embarrassing. But they were celebrating her. Is that done now? Are they done celebrating her?
I think so.
There's probably Ray Gun Day next year sometime.
Where everyone's encouraged to wear the tracksuit.
Everyone's stomping around.
For 1 minute a year, you're allowed to do the trademark move. But outside of that...
She literally does the Homer running on the floor dance. You know,
Yeah,
when he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
"Woo, woo, 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 woo."
Are you serious?
She does that, yeah.
Yeah.
I never saw it.
Yeah.
The little circle.
I would have been angry if I saw that. The moves that I saw, I just wanted to punch her in the face. And every time it would pop up, like on my socials or whatever, I would just close it.
Of course, Australia says no to violence against women, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. No, you're covering...
Bitch!
No, but like you said, it's embarrassing as an Australian. Like, this is what our taxpayer money's funding.
Yeah.
Just a quick question on violence against women. Apparently there's a stat that's come out.
Strong.
There's a stat that has come out. Now, I don't know if this is true or how true it is.
Here we go.
Apparently the stats for domestic violence on lesbian couples is much higher than male on female domestic abuse. So,
You think?
Yeah, apparently it is.
Okay, well, let's look it up.
It's at much higher rates.
That's an interesting stat.
We're all about stats here, John.
I've seen his pop up like, no, surely not.
What I would like to see is between lesbian, gay couples and
So
straight
apparently
couples.
in gay couples, male and male couples, it's essentially non-existent.
The stat is higher, but
Okay.
it's agreed upon by
Essentially,
both parties.
It's essentially non-existent when it's two men.
Yeah.
Then when it's a male and a female, it's high. Mm-hmm. But then when it's female and female, it's like through the roof.
Wow.
Apparently. I don't know how true this is.
I mean, the ratios obviously would be in favour of the straight couples, but you know what I mean? There's more straight couples than lesbians and gay couples.
Are we qualified to talk on this?
I don't see why we're not. It's just conversational topic.
No, because I just don't want to get...
Why? It's just something that's come up.
I've jerked off next to another guy, so I feel like I'm
You're an idiot.
in the talk here.
Okay, thanks, man.
Shout out Vitaly.
It comes out baklava.
Oh, you actually had a piece, huh? Any good? What? Yeah.
He's just got syrup dripping from his lips.
you wanted one, yeah?
Thanks, man. There were 4 pieces there, yeah?
It was really nice, thank you. 4? I only saw one big slab.
Okay.
Do you have any additional syrup to pour on this?
Okay, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just going to wiki, yeah?
Yeah, just generalised.
Because I don't know what country this is. I don't know. Maybe it's just a general thing. Maybe it's the States or something.
It could be the States.
It could be United
Okay.
Arab Emirates.
This is actually not funny, but this is interesting wording, right? For Wikipedia. Domestic violence within lesbian relationships is the pattern of violent and coercive behaviour in the female same-sex relationship wherein a lesbian or non-heterosexual woman seeks to control the thoughts, beliefs or conduct of a female intimate partner.
Well, it's a strong start.
In the case of multiple forms of domestic partner abuse, it's also referred to as lesbian battering. That just sounds bad.
That sounds pretty bad.
That sounds bad.
They strap on and they batter up.
All right. You ready for this?
Yeah.
The issue of domestic violence among lesbians has become a serious social concern, but the topic has often been ignored, both in academic analysis and in the establishment of social services for battered women. The CDC has stated that 43.8% of lesbian women reported experiencing physical violence, stalking, or rape by their partners.
It's almost 50%.
Out of those 43.8%, 2/3, so 67.4% of those, that first stat, are reported to be exclusive female perpetrators. The other third reported at least one perpetrator being male. So, however, the study made no distinction between victims who experienced violence from male perpetrators, blah, 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 blah. Similarly, 61.1% of bisexual women reported physical violence, stalking, or rape by their partners in the same study, with 89.5% reporting at least one perpetrator being male. In contrast, 35% of heterosexual women reported having been victims of intimate partner violence. 35% of heterosexual women reported violence with an intimate partner, whereas 43.8%.
Question.
Say those numbers again. Sorry, that's the last bit.
Okay, so 35% of heterosexual women reported having been victims of intimate partner violence.
Yep.
And with the women, study notes out of 43.8% of lesbian women have reported physical violence.
So it's a high percentage.
Yeah.
It's probably a lower pool, but it's a higher percentage.
Yeah. And it says, here it says, for several methodological reasons, non-random sampling procedures and self-selection factors, among others, it's not possible to assess the extent of same-sex domestic violence. Studies on abuse between gay male and lesbian partners usually rely on the small convenient samples, yada, 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 yada. Issue of domestic violence among lesbian couples may be underreported due to the gender roles that women are expected to play in society. So violence perpetrated by women may be ignored due to beliefs that the male social construct itself is a primary source of violence.
Sounds already like an apologetic excuse.
Bad. Jesus.
Yeah.
So is that another one of John's spurious facts?
No.
I was on the ball. I did good.
It's an interesting stat, for sure.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have even thought of it.
I've just seen it popping up a little bit, and I'm like,
here's something that's non-apologetic.
People wouldn't just be saying that.
So due to the forms of discrimination, homophobia, and heterosexism, and the belief that heterosexuality is normative within society, domestic violence has been categorized as being between the male perpetrator and the female victim. This contributes to the invisibility of all domestic violence perpetrated by women. Further, the fear of reinforcing negative stereotypes could lead to some community members, activists, and victims to deny the extent of violence among lesbians.
Well, I mean, how many times have you seen, like, shorts or something, and it's like a dude was being abused by his partner, female, and the dude, people were just laughing at him.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a stigma. There's a stigma around, like, being a guy and saying that you need help. Well, I've had friends that have been like that.
I've done 3 podcasts with domestic violence victims in this room. One of them was a man.
Yeah.
And I said, and he was physically abused.
Yep.
And he's like, couldn't say anything.
Yeah.
Because when I did, I wasn't taken seriously. Or she would open her mouth and just come up with random bullshit, and I'd get thrown in the cuffs.
Yeah.
He'd end up having to go to jail and then prove that he wasn't abusive just to get out.
Yeah.
Whereas with her, it was just assumed, like, oh, that's what it is. It's a piece of shit.
One of my best mates was, like, getting beat. Like, violently beat by his missus.
Oh, wow.
Cigarette burns on his arms, and it was, like, bad. Yeah.
What did he do?
He was terrified of her. Like, for a few years he was with her, and then eventually there was law enforcement came in. But he couldn't leave because she was, like, threatening to kill him. And she was crazy enough to probably kill him. I haven't had another friend couple where someone's been abused. I haven't heard of it because most of, they're just male-female couples that I'm in my group. But the ones that I've heard of, and there's been 3 of them, it's always been the female that has been the violent one.
Really?
Yep.
I'm trying to think of domestic violence in couples that I know. I can only think of one, and the dude was a real piece of shit. Narcissist to the extreme.
Was it a long-term relationship?
Yeah,
or
yeah. Really long-term. He was an extreme, abusive, narcissistic piece of shit.
Physical
Prototype,
or
both?
Emotional, yeah.
It usually tends to be long-term relationships, though, because if it's I think if it's in its initial stages, the partner, whoever it is, will just bounce straight away.
Yeah, they can see enough of it to say, I'm out.
They create a trust, they create a bond long enough where then they're kind of like, well, it was just a moment of weakness, like 5 years down the track.
It's always a moment of weakness, or it's your fault, one of the two. Yeah, but
and then they're hooked. They're hooked
in that circumstance, I was pretty vocal in my opinion. I couldn't approach the individual that was abusive because I didn't hear it from them.
Yeah,
I didn't physically see it.
Yeah,
but I had testimony from the victim,
abusee. Yeah,
and I just said, "Look, man, like I'm horrified that I'm hearing about it. I can't exactly just go and accuse him, but what you've said is worthy of being fucking punched in the face because it's disgusting. It's on you to basically get out of it."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And from that point they actively did make steps to get the fuck out of there. And then even the abuser, I know him, as in, I know who he is. He's still part of some social circles that I'm aware of. I've limited my contact with, and just out of chance. A friend of mine's mother said this years ago, life will remove people for you. Yeah? And life happened to just remove this person from my initial sphere, so it's well, out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
It's not, without proof, you can't really do anything.
No.
You know what I mean?
You can't accuse someone that you can't prove.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I know that situation was contained, sorted out, and that's enough for me. It's okay, cool.
It's handled.
Yeah. Anything that they're involved in now, I've got no idea.
Yeah.
That said, though, whether it's straight, gay, lesbian couples, whatever, you're always going to have complete psychopaths, no matter where you go.
Oh, of course.
But it's an interesting statistic to know that in the smaller pool of lesbian relationships, you have a higher chance to have an abusive partner. And that's just something to be aware of.
And do you know many lesbian couples?
I actually do, surprisingly.
Have you seen, I've got a few close friends that are gay, and I've seen these relationships up close for the last 20-odd years. They are so fucking volatile sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm not saying heterosexual couples are any better, but I'm just saying, if you looked at it with a magnifying glass, sometimes it can be so volatile, it's ridiculous.
My neighbours were lesbians, and there was little tweak moments during conversations that you would pick up on, and you'd be like, whoa,
Yeah.
what the hell was that?
Yeah.
It would be subtle, but you'd be like, that was weird. That's a weird thing to say to your partner or whatever, and it's like a tweak, and the person's almost flinching, oh boy.
I don't know. I have arguments with with a lot of just dreamers, man, that say that marriages were built to last in the 60s and 50s was better in the old days and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, it's because women didn't have any rights. They had no lifelines. They had no money. They had no support.
Unhappy. Shut up.
Shut up. Dude.
Where's my
I
meat?
love those memes where it's always, it's always like, things were better in the old days. Also, if grandma didn't have dinner ready on time, and it's a picture of Stone Cold dropping his stunner, we're
I was literally watching a video short this morning, and it was Steiner threatening to hit
Deborah or something, Tory or Hibbler.
Stacey Hibbler he was about to hit her with a chair, and you've probably seen this one, yeah. He's like, I'm about to. This was in WWF days when the merger came, and he's threatening to hit her in the corner. She's terrified, and then the glass shatters and Stone Cold comes out. He goes, "You think you're a real man? Won't you hit me?" So he punches him, and they get into a brawl, and Stone Cold beats the crap out of him. Then he hands a beer to Stacey Hibbler. Have a drink. She has a drink. They're celebrating. Then she's like, I don't really like it. And he's like, whacks it out of her hand. He freaking starts.
The good old attitude days, man.
That's gold.
Can't get away with that anymore.
Comes out to protect her.
But the stunner is a move that knocks out grown men, yeah?
Yeah.
But he's landed it on a woman.
Yeah.
A petite woman.
Yeah. Kibler was an underwear model.
Yeah.
Was it Mark Merrow that was Deborah's or Tori's partner?
Tori Wilson.
Was it Tori Wilson?
Because there was two Tories.
Was it?
There's Tori Wilson and Tori.
What's the difference?
Tori Wilson was also from WCW, and Tori was the one.
Tori,
she was jacked.
Yeah, she was massive.
Massive implants, but jacked.
Jacked.
And the implant just stood there like, like floating.
Like a big balloon
they just
ready
didn't
to pop.
suit. Yeah. She looked like Jackie as well. Her and Jackie looked the same.
Yeah.
Jacked as anything.
Who's Jackie?
Jackie was,
Wait,
Who are these women?
You really didn't appreciate women in wrestling.
I never
Type in
watched
Jackie.
it. I never watched it to that extent.
I was all over it back in the day.
Of course you were.
I couldn't even see my screen. It was so messy.
All I remember was Trish Stratus, man. She was the best.
She's back now.
I know. She's Greek. She's Greek-Canadian with Polish roots or something. It's crazy. Yeah, dude. Who am I looking up?
Just like
Tori.
WWE Tori.
And what was the WCW one?
Tori.
So which one was...
No, they were both... No, so you had Tori Wilson. So that's Tori Wilson.
Tori Wilson.
Now do WWE and just get rid of the E on Tori.
Yeah. I think it was one R as well, wasn't it?
I think so.
Okay, so WWE Tori.
Yeah.
She was in the... Yeah, her.
It's like they're running out of stripper names.
She was in... do you remember when it was The Godfather, Val Venus, and Batista, and they did like a purity faction? And she was in it as well, and they were like coming out with like black pants and white shirts.
So who was who?
She was Tori.
Yeah, I can see that, John.
She was the one that towards the end of her career...
I'm the one that Googled the name.
She's the one that towards the end of her career, same thing, she was jacked.
So which one was in WCW?
Tori Wilson.
Was she DDP's valet?
No, she was just... I can't remember whose valet she was in WCW.
Maven? Okay, let's have a look.
She was with Tucker for a while.
It's that time of year. Wikipedia's like, please.
Yeah, ask him for money.
It's this time
We
again.
don't ask
Once
every year.
again, I am asking you for donations.
Question, how does Wikipedia make any money, though?
Well, they don't.
They
That's
don't
why.
at all.
That's why they're asking.
And apparently there's one man who apparently vets 90% of all the articles, who's contributed a lot of it. So apparently
So how does he live?
I have no idea. He just does it on his lunch
Volunteer
breaks. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Like people at Salvos, they don't get paid.
Yeah, they do.
No, well, some of them are volunteers.
Yeah, no, you can volunteer at the salvos, but I know people that worked at the salvos. They got paid.
$5.
You're such a you romanticize everything, man. So naive to the world.
am. I'm a romantic.
You just said you couldn't see the screen. All right. So Tori Ann Wilson was in WCW. She appeared in WWF as part of the Invasion. Blah 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 blah. She's done Playboy. End of profile. Hang on. Yes, of course. Bulimia, etc. Scott Steiner.
In case you didn't see
Scott
it.
Steiner's valet. Okay, there you go.
Oh, yes.
Scott
When
Steiner?
he came back with the medal, the chain link armor. You know, he did
the chain link armor.
The Camelot look.
And he was wearing the super shorts.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a beast, man.
Yeah. He's it was Scott Steiner. What was his brother's name?
Rick Steiner.
His son.
The Bulldog Rick Steiner.
Yeah, his son now is I think an intercontinental champ in WWE.
David Flair. Okay.
Yeah.
They've officially moved to Netflix, haven't they?
I don't know yet.
Yeah, I think they shut down the WWE Network thing.
Because they're on Netflix now.
You're
So it's
kidding.
They did like $1
easy.
billion deal with
Yeah.
Netflix.
Netflix is now distributing WWE.
And it's going to be live too, I think.
It's exclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's live
And
as
I
well.
think because Triple H has taken over the reins now, yeah?
Yeah.
And everything is just starting to slowly become how it used to be.
As in what?
Just much more what we remember, what we grew up on.
Yeah, but dude, the WWE Network was massive in itself. That was a big thing.
Yeah, but I think they threw too much at it, and I don't think it's successful enough.
Nope.
No.
Buff Bagwell, Shane Douglas. I haven't heard these names in years.
I mean, I'd be more inclined to watch it on Netflix.
I'm pretty sure it's just moved last month.
It is bouncing, it's really doing really well now.
Why would you be more inclined to watch it on Netflix as opposed to its own network? What's the difference?
That's one less subscription.
True.
Is it that the only reason? Because it's one less subscription?
Well, I tend to go through Netflix more than I would go out of my way. 'Cause I have apps that I subscribe to that I barely even touch, and I'm still paying for them.
Yeah.
Why?
You just forget.
I got Prime, and I have it installed. I have it, because I've got the Prime subscription.
Majority of why subscription fees actually are good is because people forget about them.
Yeah, it's like a gym membership.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that. But I feel like with apps, like stuff like that, you know if you're watching TV or not.
Yeah.
I know I don't watch enough TV to warrant getting Netflix or anything because I don't bother.
I literally pay $15 a month just so I can watch Castle almost every day. That's it.
Castle. It's Castle.
The one with Nathan Fillion, where he's the writer.
Well, I keep trying to convince myself to subscribe to YouTube so I don't have the ads anymore on like PS4. And I'm like, no.
Oh, dude, they're so bad on the PlayStation. They're like 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're happening every 2 minutes.
Yeah.
If you have a 10-minute video, you're going to see at least 3 ads.
There has to be some law or something against that.
I don't know, but that's what I was like.
I just go save later and I'll just watch it later on the computer.
Yeah, but see, I'm never on the computer anymore. Because my computer's at the office now. The only reason I'm on the computer is because I'm doing work. Now I'm starting to sit at my laptop a bit just to watch stuff if I'm like eating breakfast or something. You know what I mean? But I try to convince myself to pay how much is it? $15?
Think so. Everything's about 15.
Yeah, but $15 here, $15 there.
But that's what I'm saying.
Subscriptions later, it's $100 a month.
$15,
Yeah.
I can't justify to watch YouTube.
Yeah.
But it's like, stuff it. I'll just watch the ad. Who
I
cares?
literally unsubscribed from my Game Pass because I haven't played a Xbox game on PC. I haven't turned my Xbox on in over a year.
Having said that, the amount of times that I've said, oh, I've cancelled it, and then a month, 3 weeks later, I see the charge come out, and I'm like, oh, I didn't cancel it.
Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is like the 5th year in a row that we've discussed this. My PlayStation subscription is coming up in January.
Oh, very good.
I don't know whether to cancel it or not.
Okay, I got sucked into renewing it.
Because you've been playing Thingo, yeah?
The Deep Space.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Now,
Deep Rock?
Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah.
I've got that on PC, but like if you'd want to play it, I'd be inclined to buy it on PS4 and play it on PS4.
No, it's crossplay.
PC.
Yeah, you can play with PS4 on PC.
Well,
that's why I said to him whenever he wants to play, if he wants
that's
to
the
play.
thing.
I thought it wasn't.
I'm always up to play, and even my...
I was playing.
All right, see you later, Sony. I've got it installed already. Let's play tonight.
I got convinced...
Most games now are crossplay or coming.
I know
with
there's
crossplay.
some that they are crossplay, but it's only like Steam and like Xbox
Yeah.
and Xbox Game Pass on PC.
Yeah,
That's
no.
crossplay sometimes.
They're-
Some of them are very limited. To,
Most games now are pushing
so
on crossplay.
definitely like Steam to PS4.
Yeah.
All right, done.
Yep.
I got convinced by my mates to jump on it. So I paid for the subscription. I downloaded the freaking game. It's $150 investment.
What? The game's like $30.
No, it was like $45 or something when I bought it. Now it's $30. Maybe on Steam. On PS4 at that time it was like...
I buy everything on sale now on Steam. Everything.
it was like
100%.
$40-$50 for the basic, for the vanilla version.
And my new website, which I'm almost 100% sure is using stolen keys, because I'm getting games for like $3 that on Steam are like $45-$50. I'm like,
Dragon
I'm pretty
Age.
sure.
Dragon Age the Veilguard, $4. I'll wait till it goes on sale.
Further sales.
That game's well and truly done, right?
Yeah, it's cooked. The Game Awards just happened. And then
That's what I was going to bring up as well. Did you see what game of the
I watched it
year?
last night.
What is it?
How did that happen?
Which?
What got game of the year?
Oh, I mean,
What
look,
got
to
Game
be
of the
fair, I
Year?
haven't played it.
They didn't want to give it to Black Myth 100%.
No.
I don't know what
100%.
any of this shit is. What are you talking about?
Okay, so Game of the Year awards.
How do we get from Tory Wilson to Game of the Year?
Yeah, we're progressing. We're moving along.
Go.
We'll
Go.
circle back to Jakey with the
We'll
rock
circle,
mullins.
jerk
Yes.
off to
Yeah.
back.
So, Game of the Year awards. During the year, they propped up Dragon Age that it was going to be the best game, okay?
Uh-huh.
They were very sour when they did the Steam Awards. I think they were nominating it, or whatever it was, or was it the Game Awards? And it didn't even get nominated.
Yeah. They got one nomination for accessibility.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Just laugh. What does that mean? You can download it from anywhere?
Like, you have added additional settings for people with disabilities to be accessible. So,
okay,
colorblind
colorblindness.
mode.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't think they won it either.
That annoys me. Every Windows game or Xbox game that I load up on PC, every time it comes up with that accessibility stuff, and it's like a whole 3-4 minute like delay.
The
'cause it's
worst
like,
is the voice one.
Yes, and
Voice
it's-
activation on.
This
off.
is what it will
Voice
sound like.
activation off. Wait, what?
who's this person talking?
Anyway, continue.
So, a game
Jesus
came
God.
out during the year called Black Myth Wukong. Okay?
Yeah.
Or Wukong Black Myth.
No, I think it's Black Myth Wukong. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. What it is, it's a Dark Souls-like game, which is like Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Very hard games. When you rest, your enemies respawn. RPG.
Based
open
on
world.
Journey to the West.
Based on Journey to the
How's
West.
that?
Monkey King.
Monkey Magic.
Monkey Magic.
Ah, okay.
Because that's like Journey. That's a
Yeah.
story. So it's been in development for years. Lots of people have been very excited about it.
Most people were spectacle. What's the word I'm looking for? Speculating that it was going to be a fake or a scam because it looked too good from the trailers. And it's a Chinese company, so of course they thought it was a scam.
Yeah, like 90% thought it was going to 100% be a scam.
Okay.
And
90% thought that it was 100% going to be a scam.
90% of the time.
100% of the time.
43% of the people agree with you, John.
90% of the people thought 100% it was going to be a scam.
So 90% of the people were sure it was going to be a scam.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thank you for the
Jeez.
clarification.
Not 99.
Someone wiped the sweat off my forehead.
It's a Christmas miracle.
Dude's head. There's just numbers playing out. Hang on a second.
What the fuck?
3 plus 7 times 9.
Carry the 3?
Yeah, 100%.
His head's going off like in the Matrix when the agents take over the bodies.
Get to your point.
Yes, my point.
In here we have the point.
The point.
We've arrived at
To the crux. So basically, video game journalists being the dog pile crap game journalists they are, interviewed someone, and of course, instead of like doing a proper translation from Chinese, they got some crappy Chinese translator, and in their conversation, the sentence that was uttered and translated came across extremely like
It was mistranslated.
mistranslated. It came across as sexist, misogynistic.
You know when you have a saying in another language and you try to translate that specific saying, it's not going to sound right.
context is way out.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Yeah, and that's what happened. So because of that, these journalists jumped on that, dogpiled, and I think they were also approached by what's the company that
Sweet Baby.
Yeah, they were approached by them too.
Yeah.
And they told them where to go.
Yeah.
Sweet Baby being the company that tries to blackmail companies, otherwise they bad name them to everyone.
Bad name them
To everyone else. So because of those two things, essentially they got bad named and they got a lot of crap talked about them. So all the journalists refused. A lot of them refused to review it. They dogpiled until the game finally released, and it did release. It wasn't a perfect game from what I heard. I heard it was a very good game, but I think some of the abilities they tried to execute just didn't work. Some of them?
My experience was fine.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I really liked it.
Okay, so we've got a game that got shit on out of China, and they were trying to hammer it into the ground.
They also tried to not talk about the game during interviews. They wanted to talk about, like, COVID, for example. And they wanted to talk about politics in China. And the company was like, we just want to talk about the game.
Okay.
And so,
why would you talk to a game company about COVID?
Exactly. So in their statement, right, when they released the previews to the game to reviewers, they said in their statement, "Don't talk about this, don't talk about that, just talk about the game. Don't talk about COVID in your review. Don't talk about politics around the world, geopolitics, China politics. Just focus on the game." And reviewers like IGN and shit lost it. They're like, you can't tell us what to do like that. We want to talk about this. And they're like, just talk about the game.
But what does COVID or geopolitics or whatever have anything to do with
Because
the game?
it's an opportunity for them to jump on their agenda of what they think is correct when, COVID obviously was the whole speak of what China was going on. They wanted to really hammer down on like the politics in China, the patriarchy of it and the directorship of it and all that. And they were like, just don't talk about it. Just talk about the game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway. Just stopping the feed for a second. If you've made it this far and you haven't already, please subscribe to our Spotify, YouTube, and social media accounts. For every new like that we receive, we get a crisp $100 bill from Mark Zuckerberg, and we put it right back into production costs. This, of course, is absolute nonsense and made up, but we'd still really appreciate the like. And now back to the episode.
And so basically, it got nominated for Game of the Year at these Game Awards. So the list of games in the Game of the Year, I can't remember what it was.
Balatro,
Refantanzo.
Yeah.
which I got and I started playing.
Astrobot, Final Fantasy VII remake.
Okay, whatever games, right?
Yeah.
And so, in the end, the game of the year was Astrobot.
I know what that is.
Look, it started up. So, you know, you got your PS4? When you bought your PS4, you remember those little robots?
Robots.
Okay, so
the little it's like a little
It's a mascot for the PS4.
It's
so
like
in the
white with a black face.
It's like a little robot, like a little Michelin Man robot.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little Michelin Man, yeah.
PS4 robot.
If you got the little camera when you got a PS4, you could play. It's an actual app game that you can load up, just Astrobot. They reacted to you. I remember, like, you wave at them in the camera and they wave back to you. Like, it was just like a little...
To be fair, Astrobot... Yeah. Astrobot, the game, is a sum up of 25 years of PlayStation or whatever, 20 years of PlayStation into the game. So it's not just Astrobot himself. It's like if you were playing Kingdom Hearts and there's a culmination of characters and people were just saying that, like, it was built for kids and adults, like as in families to play together. And just based on that, the gameplay, the mechanics, like it did get rave reviews across the board from everyone. Didn't matter what side of politics you were sat on, everyone's had the same agreement. It was a 10 out of 10 game. So that's why I'm not like shitty about it.
I don't know anything about it, but I just found it funny that like a little platformer won game of the year as opposed to like all these games that like
AAA.
Did you see their speech?
No.
His speech basically was thanking Nintendo. Mind you, this is a game based on PlayStation and the PlayStation mascot, and he couldn't say Nintendo during the speech because he can't. You can't say Nintendo. That's the competitor. So he basically was saying, I just want to thank the people that inspired us to make this game. And he's like, just keep in mind, platformers have been around for a lot longer than we think. He's like, back in 1989 when I was a kid, the first thing I got was a little grey box with Super Mario Brothers, and that changed my life forever to inspire me to this moment right now.
Yeah.
And he's like, notice, I haven't said the name of the company.
He actually said that.
He said that in his speech.
He's like, because obviously he doesn't want to get in trouble. But
yeah, he's losing his job on Monday.
Yeah, good job, Astro, but you're fired.
Yeah. Let's talk about the projections for next year's release.
The GM's putting the trophy up on
Randy
the thing.
will be taking over as lead on this project.
Clean out your desk.
Randy's got some piercings and purple hair. Oh, no.
No, well, hang on. Wait a second, man.
And then... Oh, sorry, go.
In that moment,
do
you reckon he would have been out of line to mention the competitor?
It was a very emotional speech for him, and I think it would have been completely fine for him to say, thank you, Nintendo, because he basically said, thank you, Nintendo, without saying Nintendo.
I think there's nothing wrong with that. Like, seriously.
He's not praising the company for, like, the success of the game or saying they're better. He's just thanking them for the inspiration from something that they built.
Yeah.
You have to face it. You draw inspiration from somewhere.
Yep.
Even like, what's it called? Even Kyrgios and all, like Kyrgios. Look at Kyrgios, yeah? He's thanked Djokovic how many times? Like, they've been at it for years, but he's thanked him heaps for inspiring him.
Of course.
When I was a kid, we looked up to you, like, you know, and all that sort of stuff. You have to thank, like, it came from somewhere.
Yep. No, I agree.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with competitors thanking each other. It's such a stupid environment.
I think I've said this before. I don't know if I've said this on the podcast, but I think Sony, as they are now, have become quite toxic. With the way they approach things. Like, publicly they might seem fine, but internally, once they move to America, the company has gone downhill.
You know what I remembered the other day? I just remember something that I've seen. I saw during COVID. No, it wasn't. You know when they swapped the bags from plastic to those paper ones and the tough plastic ones?
Yep.
I remember being at Woolies and the girl was like saying, you can't, it wasn't to me, but it was someone else, like, we can't use these bags. It was like a Coles bag.
That ended pretty quickly.
That ended like in a minute.
You know what's crap though? I don't buy the bags. I will literally just go to the veggie department and just rip off those bags and throw my crap in there.
I just bring my own.
It's free. I always forget to bring bags.
Well, what do you do with like 2 litre milk and cereal?
I carry the milk and I'm not buying like $100 worth of stuff. I'm going there for like a couple things.
John's got that trench coat that Marge wears when they go to the gummy, the candy expo or whatever.
No, but look at pickles. But it's hypocritical because they're charging you for these bags. We don't have plastic anymore, but they've got rolls and rolls of plastic there.
Yeah.
And I just dump it. I get looks. I'm like, what do you want? Like, that's what you have here. I'm using it. Like, if I go there, just say, I've got to get a kilo of tomatoes or whatever. And then I'll get a couple extra things. I'm like, no.
Well, no one's going to say anything about a kilo of tomatoes. Well, you're buying a kilo of tomatoes. How many tomatoes is that?
I'm making a sauce.
I'm making a salad. I'm making a salad, a pasta, a pizza, a steak.
No, but it's like, it's a bag.
We're having rice soup. I need a kilo of tomatoes.
Goes back the next day. Another kilo.
Did you see the CEO of Baldur's Gate come out?
Larian,
of Larian, sorry, and do his speech?
Yep.
And he's essentially like he's bagged the entire gaming industry to their faces.
It
and
was
clapped
great.
for him. Yeah.
It was great. At the end of this, we should actually have a look because it's a fantastic speech.
Yeah.
Where he's basically saying like, I have an oracle has told me who's going to win for the next 5 years of Game Awards, and he's like, I don't want to tell anyone, but he's like, I'm going to tell you what the oracle told me. It's about games that companies that don't invest in profits only, don't invest in revenue streams, and he's like, focus on the gamers. They're going to focus on the gamers, and they're going to focus on a good dev environment, and they're going to pay their devs well. Like, he just
make a game that we actually want to play, like we as the developers want to play.
He shat on everyone.
To their faces.
Everyone.
Yeah.
It was actually brilliant.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, good on them, because they won last year.
Yeah.
And Baldur's Gate was a phenomenal game.
I still got to get it, yeah.
Phenomenal game. Like, the first time I've played a RPG in that detail, phenomenal. Like, just hands down, phenomenal.
There's, on YouTube, is her name Luality? Twitch streamer? I think
don't know.
Luality.
I don't know. Twitch.
I don't know. But I just see her shorts anyway on YouTube. And she's constantly just pulling out, like, random crap out of her ass of, like, how to beat levels or beat monsters. And like, she's just pulling all these...
Oh, like different ideas.
Ideas, like, what if I do this and this and that? And then she pulls off this thing and creates, like, a chain reaction of explosions and, like, ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
Talking about a Nintendo, have you seen what Nintendo's done? Have you played Palworld recently?
I haven't played it recently. I've heard about them suing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So apparently they...
tried to trademark the throwing a ball action.
Yeah, so the latest update of Palworld removed the ability to throw the ball.
Really?
Yeah, so now you just press the button and they just appear. Yeah. It's like Nintendo.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So there's a game called Palworld, okay? And it was made as like an homage to Pokemon.
Yeah. It's Pokemon with guns.
Yeah. It's crazy, yeah. And you catch pals, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
And you just throw a ball like you would in Pokemon or any kind of other monster catching game. And you catch them. And then you can turn them into, do whatever you want with them. You can kill them and eat them. You can then like
put guns on them.
Yeah. You can set them to tasks and do things. And Nintendo was surprisingly not doing anything about it.
Very quiet. And everyone was like, what's going on here?
They're normally very litigious. And then out of nowhere, like 6-7 months later, once it had died down, like the hype on the game, it came out that Nintendo trademarked, what would you call it? Like a
capturing.
Yeah, but what would that be called? Like a motion or like the act of
the
it?
gesture of throwing any item
in a spherical item
that would then hit something and capture it.
They trademarked that motion.
Yeah. So anybody using that motion now in a video game can technically be sued by Nintendo.
What if you're like Batman throwing a net?
Well, this is as far as video games, I think. I don't know.
A video game of Batman.
It's the issue people had with this is that the statement is too broad.
Yeah.
And it actually, most games have something like that. Like, someone did a stat on it. It's like, at least half of the games out there have an action like that.
Off the top of my head, Cyrax and Sector in Mortal Kombat, they have netting mechanics where they launch a net and it captures the...
Yeah.
So what, now that's been trademarked?
So, Palworld, after a month or two after this happened, they haven't been sued yet, but basically they released an update. They removed the ability to throw the ball, and now when you press the button, your little pal just appears beside you instead of being thrown out or thrown to capture something. I'm not too sure. But yeah.
Oh my god, people just want money for nothing, man.
I think Nintendo's just salty. Yeah, they do. But I think Nintendo's salty because people have always wanted a Pokemon game like that, and Palworld did it. and they made a lot of money very quickly, and then Nintendo were like, "Oh, fuck, we missed it."
The current modern day Pokemon game is the same as a Pokemon game that was back on Game Boy.
Okay.
There hasn't been much.
They haven't advanced.
There's no variation.
There's no variation. There's no advancement of the type of game or anything. It's still the same thing.
I don't even think there's any new mechanics. I think it's exactly the same.
That's what I was thinking. Like, there's no new mechanics. The same thing. They've made it more open world where you can see the Pokemon. You have to go up to them and touch them. But other than that, it's still the exact same gameplay.
No,
there's not even any animations
I
for
have
your
zero
Pokemon.
interest in Pokemon. I've never enjoyed it. Never looked at it.
I
Never
like
seen
it.
it.
I like it,
yeah.
I've never. It was never my bag.
And that's why people are lapping up these new versions of these games, because you got Palworld, you got that other one on PC, Temtem. And it's like, these are just better versions of Pokemon.
Yeah. Temtem was actually alright.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of a lot of money, I talked to you about this the other day, the Huak Tuah Meme coin thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you've got your ear on this sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did it mean in your world?
It's really bad. Because
This is bad. This is really bad.
it's bad because these celebrities get involved with things they don't understand, and it's possible that someone's like approached her and said, "Hey, this is a really good idea," or set her up or whatever. But the problem is that this happens with celebrities. It's happened to plenty of them.
Sorry.
Yeah.
When I tried to read into what it actually was, right? A meme coin, whatever. Even, dude, I consider myself like somewhat intelligent, or at least be able to read something and learn about it. I still don't understand what crypto is in its essence, right? To me, it makes no sense. Okay. The one thing I can think of that explains how I feel about crypto is George Costanza, when Jerry asks him to go check out that artist that he's dating, and he's like, I don't get art. What's to get? Like, you know, I gotta have it explained to me, then someone has to explain the explanation, and then he just throws his arms up. That is me with crypto.
Yeah.
It's like,
Oh, you like that piece?
I'll sell it to you right now for $50. That's it. That's me. It's like, I get it. I don't get it. All right. I'll settle on, I sort of understand. That's it. So when this meme thing came out, it sounded like a pump and dump.
Yeah.
Right? Can you explain what a pump and dump is?
Pump and dump is when someone willingly or knowingly hypes up or pays a celebrity to get involved to hype up something, like a think of it as a share or a stock, and then people then FOMO, which is fear of missing out, and then you FOMO in because you think, well, that thing's going to skyrocket. It'd be like if, you know, any of your favorite celebrities release something that you could invest in directly, and then that thing does skyrocket because everyone's FOMOing in, and then suddenly the person behind it just crashes the chart and just destroys all the liquidity that's available to do the trades, and they take all the money out, and then everyone's left there with nothing. So that's pumping, going up, and then dumping, going straight down.
Isn't that literally what the
Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, the Wall Street dudes were trying to do with GameStop in America.
Yeah.
That's more manipulating the price. This is like directly trying to destroy the thing immediately. It's a little bit different because one's manipulating it so that other people are winning. This is maliciously targeting, like, from one person to be like, I'm going to fuck all these people over. The GameStop thing was a little bit more like a middle finger to corporations.
The GameStop thing was a collective.
But the corporations were the ones that were trying to destroy GameStop by making their
I thought the
thing
GameStop thing was just a collective of people saying, you know what we could do?
Yeah,
we could
that's
do
what I
this
mean.
to create the fake thing just to get
It was
prices.
a coordinated attack, whereas this is
so
random chaos, basically.
Question. A meme crypto, right? How is that any different from a regular crypto?
So a regular cryptocurrency has a purpose. It's a company. They're a company who have created a stock or a share, and then they let people buy into that so that they can fund their idea. And it could be a great idea. It could be anything. It could be this podcast. You know, if you haven't paid for a coffee yet, then you should pay for a coffee. And
we need to launch a crypto.
We can.
Duke coin or something.
Yeah, we can.
Imagine that.
It's so easy. You can do it in 5 seconds.
Duke's face, like just the exchange. Like what?
You can do that.
What's it cost?
Nothing.
Really?
Yeah, it costs you nothing. You'd need like a couple of $100 for liquidity just to fund like a few transfers.
If I gave you $100, could you do it?
I mean, you could do it.
No,
but
I could do it. I'm saying, could you? You know what to do.
The problem is, right, with crypto, when you trade,
could you imagine that's the game changer for this podcast? Duke coin.
And then we'll be doing a pump and dump thing on ourselves.
100% pump and dump, man.
The Duke
I've
coin
got
has
my passport and my Greek citizenship ready to go. Yeah.
Straight to Cyprus.
Why do you think I was at the consulate the other day? Oh, speaking of it, that's an take two at the consulate.
Oh, you see?
Yeah.
I was just listening to that. 40, what was it? 10th of February, 25th of February,
That
2025.
appointment's coming up.
Oh,
Yeah. So I was out there anyway. Just
that was like episode 170 or 162.
162. We're at like 190 or something,
Yeah.
aren't we? Yeah, next year's going to be 200 episodes. 9 years into it, 200 episodes. All right, continue. Anyway. So we're going to establish a crypto coin for Duke leverage. Done.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
Yeah, so what the hell are we talking about?
The meme.
Is she going to jail?
What's a meme crypto?
There's a chance she does, yeah. For sure.
Really?
So, yeah, 100%. It's illegal to do that, for one. Straight up. You are straight up scamming. It's a scam.
Yeah, because that's like insider trading.
It's not even insider trading. It's just a scam. Like, you're telling people, invest in this, and then I will sell everything on top of you, and you can't get out of it. Like, you will just be stuck there. And that's what, like, you're pulling, they also call it a rug pull, where people, envision someone standing on top, and you pull the rug out of their feet.
A rug. Yeah.
And then they can't get back up. So, yeah, and then basically a meme coin is different because there's no purpose to it. There's no company behind it. There's no vision. It's just the hype of a celebrity, or usually it's celebrity based. It's the hype of a community getting behind it and trying to pump this thing. And this is the stupid part, right? So a lot of people, the goal is a lot of people get involved with it. And the more people get involved, the higher the price goes. And at some point you can take profits. That's literally the purpose.
But it's nothing.
Yes. Yes, it's nothing.
How are we not involved in this?
Because you take a chance, like it's a big chance. So you can put $100. There's like millions of these things being created daily, by the way.
Yeah.
Like daily. And someone's hoping that 0.00001% of that becomes a hit and they make bajillions off it. Because it happens, but it's rare. And if you put $100 in, you might come out with like $10 million. It's ridiculous. Yeah.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
Now that Duke's got a new face, it can be the face of the crypto. But
Yeah.
what are you selling on the hope? Like,
well, you're selling to degenerates. So, marketing.
He works in crypto, yeah.
Hey, degenerates is a term. Defense is a term.
I know it's a term, but
It's a commonly used term.
just selling to degenerates.
So you have to think like one, and the marketing behind it has to be very, very, very clever. And so you're trying to hit the right buttons in the right places so that enough people see it and get involved and then talk about it. And majority of these people, honestly, they probably save up like 10, 20 grand. They'll start the meme thing. They'll have a plan of attack. So it's not usually random. The successful ones anyway. They'll have a plan of attack and they'll say, okay, well, I'm going to get this influencer and this influencer to talk about it. And the moment it does, it's probably going to rocket. And that's my
Okay,
time.
so take the Huak Tuah meme, right? What was the actual product itself?
I don't think there was a product.
So
I
what
never
were they
saw one.
selling?
Nothing. You're trying to piggyback on her success.
Yeah, I get that. But what are you actually selling?
Nothing.
Not even a crypto coin.
No, there's a coin, but there's no product. Like, you're investing in her as a brand. Yeah.
So then they shot it up.
Mm-hmm.
She pulls out her money.
Yep.
How much did she pull out?
Well, I don't know. She's saying that it wasn't her. She's saying that it was other people that pulled out. But
Yeah, but CoffeeZilla was like,
yeah.
then who's the project?
Yeah.
She is the project.
Yeah.
Then how is it not her?
Look, I believe she was probably manipulated. I don't think she went out and did this knowingly.
No, to be fair, she's a 22-year-old minimum wage worker from like rural states in the rural states of America. She wouldn't know about freaking crypto dumping and blah, blah, blah. They just said to her, slap your face on this, talk about it on your podcast, and you'll get $1 million.
Exactly.
That's what she did.
Yeah. Which is what plenty of celebrities have done.
Yeah.
How often do these pump and dumps happen?
No,
All the time.
All the time.
Yeah,
You just
all the
don't
time.
hear about it.
You hear about it, but
If
you
you're-
have to be in the right space. To
You have to be in the network, you know.
I hear about it all the time. And people go to jail.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Could she go to jail though?
Yeah.
Like, Could she say that she was misled or like just had
She
no
could
idea?
say that, but she'd have to prove it.
But her name would be all over the paper. She would have had to sign documents at some point.
I mean, look, it depends, because you can't just start a coin and be like, oh, well, that's that person because it's the name. Like, she would have to have some kind of involvement. There'd have to be some chat history somewhere of her saying, like, yeah, I'm involved or whatever. But, I mean, she said it on the podcast, right? So, I think she's...
That's classified as a white-collar crime, yeah?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, it's
And
financial.
they always more time as well, as opposed to, like, murders and
You're
crime.
not in a federal pound me in the ass prison, but you're in a white collar like
But there's always much long sentences.
like 20 years, like for insider trading.
Money's worse than killing someone.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
100%.
Government's like, nah,
I need my taxes. I need my cut. You give me my cut, you can do it.
And she's in Cali, right? Now?
I wouldn't have a
So
clue.
she'd be on the 51% tax.
Probably.
I don't know. I got no
Whereas
idea.
apparently here in Australia, I think it was in Victoria, it happened, some 15-year-old kid, just around the corner from here too, was walking home. Did you hear about this?
I hear it on a daily basis at this point.
And he got jumped by another kid, I think from the same school, with a machete, got hog-tied and tied to a car and was dragged.
Oh, that was last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the kid this year, the one that did it, got off.
Oh, yeah, great.
Just got like community service, 15-year-old kid, no jail time.
Did he hog-tied a kid?
I think it was hog-tied or tied him and just dragged him from the car for like hundreds
They
of meters.
dragged him in the car, yeah, and then he was like trying to get out, and they just basically dragged him along, and he's got brain damage.
He was in a coma for a year,
Yeah.
and nothing's happened to this kid.
I think he's blind in one eye, he's got brain damage.
And this kid who did it, apparently after all this time, was threatening like people as well, non-apologetic.
Hang on, man.
Yeah.
Let's look this up.
And nothing's happened. The judge is like, I can't put this kid in jail. Like, what
Do you have
do you
any
mean?
details on this kid?
Which one?
Teenager, machete.
It was dude, it was like Orong Road or something.
Yeah, it was
like
just
Carnegie.
yeah.
Or Glen Huntley or whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
Hunt for up to 10... Okay, 3 days ago.
I think it was a car full of 4 people or something.
Teens bailed after allegedly fighting with machetes.
A lot of machetes,
Dude,
man.
it's too broad. Like, this is happening on a daily basis, so it's too broad what you're looking for.
Boy dragged from car.
Yeah, in Carnegie, or... I'm pretty sure it was close to Carnegie.
Teen boy... No, these are all like 2 days
And
ago.
that kid, and that's what I'm saying, like, you know, should probably get 20 years or 25 years or
A
whatever.
group of teens wielding machetes targeted vulnerable students leaving school the day they abducted a 14-year-old and left him for dead.
Yeah.
That's
probably
it, yeah?
Well, it could be, but again, this is a daily thing
Yeah,
now,
the boy
so-
remains in hospital. Well, this is a year ago. This was September. Boy remains in the hospital and has come out of a 6-day induced coma. Three teenagers allegedly assaulted him and put him in a stolen car.
Yeah, this is the one.
Yeah. Dragged along the road at high speed while hanging from a car door for about 150 metres, suffered bleeding on his brain, swelling around his spinal cord after being thrown from the vehicle and then run over. Jesus!
Yep.
One of the 3 teens charged over the violent after-school attack, a 15-year-old boy who cannot be named for legal reasons, applied for bail on Tuesday. Police strongly opposed his release into the community after detailing a series of attacks, including driving around with stolen cars, threatening people with machetes, blah, blah, blah. The all random attacks, his offenders have gone on a spree, targeting vulnerable school kids leaving school. Boys offending is escalating dramatically and he shows no regard for his victims. And you're saying now he's been released?
Yeah, nothing's happened to this kid. He's just like community service or something. Anger management, I don't know what it was, but yeah.
I'm pretty sure the 2 kids that ran over the bicyclists on Beach Road, they got bailed like the next day.
Yeah.
This is not out of the norm now. This is a daily
standard,
thing.
yeah. One of the women I work with, her daughter-in-law's a lawyer. Daughter-in-law? Yeah, her daughter-in-law. Stepdaughter, sorry, is a lawyer and deals with these kids all the time. And she defends them like, oh, they don't know what they're doing, this and that. Well, they're literally killing people and doing, extremely aggravated, violent crimes, and they're not being held responsible or accountable for their actions. How are they ever going to learn?
That said, recently, this week, Queensland is passing a law. You do an adult crime, you do the adult time.
Beautiful.
Even as a minor or whatever.
Whoever you are, whatever you've done, doesn't matter. Everyone's going to be treated the same.
Yeah, but what about what about the kid that kills his brother by accident because they were doing wrestling moves?
Well, that's different. I mean, the case by case.
Context of the crime.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if they're saying, like, if you go out there and you do a house aggravated burglary or whatever, and you're a kid, you're no longer just going to be like, oh, he's a little kid, he's going to get bailed.
He's underage.
No. He's probably going to get jail time.
Because you know how specifically they've been grooming kids underage to do these violent crimes for stealing cars and robbing places and that, because they know it's a kid, they're not going to go to jail. And these kids get so attached to whoever's recruited them that they won't, rat them in.
Oh, you mean recruited by an older figure?
By gangs.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So gangs are recruiting minors to do crimes that would normally...
Because they're getting away with it.
Yeah, because
they're underage, yeah.
Remember that case in the States where the guy shot the guy that assaulted his, abused his son?
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy didn't end up going to jail, did he?
There's some, I think that's not the only case. I've heard that several times.
It happens, but I'm pretty sure...
Sometimes they go to jail, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
That one specifically, you'd have to be more specific.
Okay, so if you were the father of this kid that got dragged 150 meters, and then you saw this prick walking around buying a coffee and you ran him over, how would you reckon the judge would treat that?
It's after the event. Unfortunately, in the eyes of the law, it's too far from the situation to be justified. You can't take your emotion and just
I agree.
Do justice.
But given the context,
he would go to jail.
He would
go to jail, but he'd go to jail with a grin on his face.
Yeah, 100% as a father. Yeah. It sucked because you wouldn't be around the kid, but and even then, it doesn't give justice to the son, unfortunately, because the damage is done. Yeah. Lifelong damage is done. He's never going to be the same.
But the rage that you would feel, frustration and rage that you would feel seeing your child's perpetrator just walk off scot-free.
You would... I can only imagine that as in that situation as a parent, I would have to guarantee that kid dies, whatever I do, because otherwise it's a waste.
Waste?
Yeah. Like if you ran him over or something and he just got back up and he's like, that wasn't bad, but then I'm going to jail because of that.
You remember that court case in the 80s where a dude killed some man, I think he raped and killed a man's daughter, I think it was in Australia. And as he got sentenced, as they were walking him out, he was on the phone, the father, and nobody knew it was him, and he just turned around and shot the dude and killed him.
That was in the States. It was
in the States.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Look, man, that would never go away. Yeah. As a parent, that would never go away.
No,
regardless of a parent, sibling, whatever, that will always be with you. Like there'd be a sense of probably an internal justice where you'd this person needs to suffer.
I did what I had to do.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to live with myself if it was any
seeing
other
that
way.
piece of crap, knowing he'd be get to live a normal life, whereas my son, daughter would had
the PTSD for the rest of their lives.
But unfortunately, the culture that we have now given these kids today is that you can do all these crimes and they are happening daily, and you're going to get away with it. You're going to get bailed immediately. Doesn't matter who you hurt, doesn't matter what you do, you're getting off scot-free.
So the one. This was
do you think that's do you think that's child psychologists in the ear of law?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So then, do you think that is maybe, I don't want to say a corruption, but kind of
yes,
a corruption of child psychologists or psychology of children?
Yeah.
So,
but because their logic is that you can't put kids in jail under 18 because they have to have a chance at rehabilitation. The problem is that they're not getting rehabilitation. They're just literally getting back out.
Nobody really gets rehabilitated in jail. They just repeat offenders.
No, but what I'm saying is they get bailed so that they can have a chance at fixing themselves, but no one's helping them fix them. And now police have actually started doing it, going to the kids and being like, this is wrong. If you need to talk to someone, call me. That's not a cop's job to do that. That's a very personal psychologist basis thing, where there should be services to help these kids do it.